Old songs and old stories, they keep us alive. Without our past, we would never survive.
Welcome to Ireland!
Yeah, man!
This is our first vlog from the sands and shores of Northern Ireland.
We are in Belfast,
We are in
Northern
Belfast.
Ireland right now. You are here with us, and it's raining. Go figure.
Is it really? Oh, it is!
Yeah. Welcome to Ireland.
It's the first actual rain, actually, in the first couple days we've been here. I was thinking that in my room right before I came here, that it hasn't really rained yet.
It's been really nice.
It's been cloudy, but...
The
it's
first
very
day we
nice.
got here, it was really sunny. Okay, talk about the first day.
Okay, first day. Traveling was a lot, okay? Like, we were tired.
First of all, for those of you who don't know our itinerary, we started at my house in like Anoka area. You guys know I live in Ramsey, whatever. Yeah, America, Minnesota. So then from there we went to Chicago and had like a 4-hour layover or something. And then we went to...
We caught an earlier flight
Yep,
to Chicago.
because we were there so early. So then we had a really long layover once we got to London. And we met one of Taylor's
We
friends.
met Curtis Kettler, good
Shout out.
old professor at Crown, good old Curtis, and then he helped us to find our way to the next place because the Heathrow Airport in London was huge.
And we needed help.
So Curtis was there to save the day. I can't believe I just said that. I gave Curtis credit, but oh well. And then we finally arrived, and the Maloney's had a nice sign,
That was
welcome
so
sign for us. That was so sweet. And my luggage was lost, but it was okay because it came like a couple hours later.
Yep.
And then right away we got our first camp meeting. That went to like 10. We were nodding off during the meeting, but it was good. And it was a lot of fun. And then second day, you want to talk about the second day?
Second day. That was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yesterday, we woke up, we got to sleep in, and that was really nice. I got 11 hours. I think you got about that too, didn't
Yep.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to catch up a little bit. And then our new local friend named Katie came, and she picked us up, and she took us grocery shopping at a place called Tesco, where we parked in the car park and got a little trolley,
Yeah.
which is a cart.
A trolley.
Yep. So we got some good old Irish food.
Yep.
And then we came back to our place. We're staying at kind of like a residence hall type deal. And then we went on one of those...
Derrybogie Halls.
There we go. Derrybogie Avenue. Then we went on one of those like super touristy double-decker buses.
Yes!
And took a tour of
I'm
Belfast.
so
That
happy.
was sweet. And here they're really proud of being known for making the Titanic. So they have like all this stuff dedicated to it in like a huge museum.
Mhm.
Where is that? Where's that coming from?
I don't know. But there's random music playing, sorry.
Cool. So yes, they're like, some people are like, why aren't you ashamed of making the Titanic? Because it sunk. And their catchphrase is like, well, we made the Titanic, but it was sunk by...
The English.
The
The British.
So they don't take any blame for it sinking. They
Yeah.
think it was pretty cool still. So they love it for some
Yeah.
reason.
And then we came back to the halls, and I already started picking up the Irish accent a little bit. And we came back to the halls. We're kind of bored, staring at the walls a little bit. And then finally, somebody in the halls, another person that's an American actually, she's been living here for 7 months, befriended us and took us out into town, into Belfast for a little walk, and took us to a little cafe, and that was super awesome.
That was awesome.
And invited us to hang out a little bit this weekend and stuff, so we're pretty excited about that. And we're starting to learn the bus system a little bit more. It's still a little confusing, but we're learning. And should we just talk a little bit about the culture, like a little notes?
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
one thing we were talking about today or recently is that the Northern Irish culture compared to American culture, it's interesting because there are so many similarities, yet there's a lot of differences. And so, like, when we first got there and everyone's talking and the banter's going back and forth, we were, like, kind of slow to catch on with the accents and everything. But, like, today, a couple days later, we're right there. We can understand everything and be right there. And there's a lot of similarities down to they do senior pranks here. You know, like
Who would've thought?
in high school, you know, you do a senior prank before you leave. They do that too. And so, but then there's like all kinds of things that are like, what are some of the differences?
They have a lot of strange names for things.
Yeah.
They have a lot of nicknames, especially.
Yeah.
Like, people don't go by their name. They
Yeah.
all have, like, it's really strange nickname that has nothing to do with their name. Which is something that I thought my family was, like, unique for. But it's kind of...
There's just a lot of little things, like, little things aren't called the same thing. Like, they call, was it cling film? Is, like, saran wrap. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. There's a lot.
Oh, and instead of when they have a pause, they say am. So they're like, am. It's really strange.
Yeah, that one was the one I noticed, like, right away. Like, and then they say a wee bit of coffee, or...
Even if it's not small, it can be huge, like the Titanic. Oh, that wee little ship. It's like, no.
A wee ship.
No, it's huge. You don't
My
understand.
wee daddy. And, yeah, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then... That's awkward. I don't know if we should answer, or...
Is that it, our door? No, maybe it's not.
We can edit that out. Anyway, so a lot of little language things like that, which are fun. They use banter back and forth. That's one thing. They, there's one I just had. Oh, sort it, get it sorted, sort it out. They say that a lot.
And then when they're going to call someone, they're like, I'm going to ring them, or I'm going to phone them.
Yeah, I'm going to ring
it's like
them.
The act of ringing someone or phoning them. But
so there's some things that, like, if you think about it, it makes more sense the way they say it. But then there's some things that's like, no, why don't you just say it this way? But it's just different, and it's so fun. And we're just hoping to make a lot more friends. And I'm hoping to pick up more of the accent. And it's just a lot of fun and a lot of good stuff. And I love the culture already. I'm excited for the camp that we're going to be running and preparing. We already started today. Jess was painting, and I was running errands and whatnot. So, yeah. Oh, and they say cheers. Well,
cheers.
I mean, they said that a lot when we were in England, but they still say that here.
Yeah, a little bit.
So,
Now you have the inside scoop.
From Northern Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
So, cheers.
My eyes, they are smiling, and I'm seldom sober. I like my whiskey.
Okay, we forgot to tell you something, okay? Okay, so we're in Minneapolis, ready to get on the plane to Chicago, and this is kind of creepy. So I remember I went somewhere else.
Okay, Taylor goes to go buy some coffee. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sitting by myself, minding my own business, and I was on my computer working on stuff, and all of a sudden, a man walks in the room.
And I saw this man. You didn't know this. I saw him, like, when I walked, like, we passed each other, and I remember kind of, like, making eye contact and being like, man, he looks really creepy. Glad I don't have to deal with him.
Yeah.
Okay? Like,
There are
describe
seats
him.
available.
Describe him.
Okay, this man has kind of a stench.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, a little bit. He's really sketchy looking. And out of all of the seats available, he decides to sit right next to us. Like, right next to us.
Yeah. He, like, I still remember, he had, like, a mint green shirt on, and he was, we don't really know, but we think he's, like, Arabian
like, Middle
or
Eastern.
something. Middle Eastern. You know, and it wasn't just like that. No. It was, like, the look on his face was, like, really kind of creepy, and he had this brace thing on, too. But anyway, so he sits right next to us, and I kind of, like, awkwardly, I was right next to him, awkwardly, and I'm just like, we're just kind of doing our thing. And then I come back from the bathroom, and we're gonna get in line because they said that they're boarding the plane. And so we get up, and he's, like, right behind us in line to get on this plane. And then the lady was like, oh, actually, you're on the next flight to Chicago.
And we're
This
like,
is an earlier one. So we're like, oh, okay. And so we go and sit down, and then this guy goes up, and apparently he did the whole same thing.
And then the lady that was standing there, she's like, "Oh, are you guys traveling together?" And we're like, "Heck no!"
Not with him. And so then we go and sit down in a different place, not next to him, and he goes back to the original spot. So then the lady came up to us a little bit later, and she's like, "Oh, you can just take the earlier flight because we have room." And so we're like, "Okay." So we go up to get on the plane, and this guy comes
He jumps out of his seat and walks over and gets on the plane
to
with
take
us.
the earlier ride. And so
No lie.
thankfully he wasn't next to us on the plane. But then we get out in Chicago, right?
Yep.
And like we just saw him everywhere,
He
like
was
at the
stalking
airport.
us.
He
It
was
was so creepy.
just everywhere. He kept popping up. And on the plane, I was like, Jess, we need to come up with a name for this guy and a backstory. We can make it up. And I'd like to say that like he was one of our friends was a spy and sent him to watch over us, you know, so that he was a good guy. And so then we're like, well, what name should we have? We thought that was hell. Thankfully it's not. I don't even remember where I left off, but oh, we needed a name for him.
Right.
And so Jez suggested Aladdin, and I said Aladdin Cisco. And so
We're covering our cultural basis because
Right.
we're intercultural studies
I mean,
majors.
and we don't
so-
want to like leave anyone out.
Yeah.
But then we ended there, and so then we called him Al for short. And so all over the place we're like, "There's Al. Al's behind us. Al's over there." So that was our story about Al.
Yeah.
But it was okay because we ended up, he's not anywhere in Ireland, and he didn't go to London either.
And he wasn't just at our door. That was some people that live here.
Maybe we'll be friends with them, or maybe enemies. We'll find out. So, yeah.
Toodles! I mean, cheers.
Cheers.